The Atlanta Police Department are claiming that Lil Baby is responsible for the death of two teenagers in Atlanta after he went to his ops hood to shoot a music video last year. I'm not gonna lie, this story right here is pretty crazy. So a few years ago, we started to see Lil Baby distance himself from the 4PF branding he had spent years building. And at the time, a lot of people assumed that he was doing this because he wanted to avoid a RICO indictment. He wanted to avoid any unnecessary legal drama that may arise due to his affiliation. So he distanced himself from 4PF. He continued to drop music, but over the last couple of years, it really ain't been hitting the same. We've been seeing people say that Lil Baby fell off, that his flow is becoming outdated. And so here recently, Lil Baby dropped an album called Wham. The album did pretty well for Lil Baby, although it did receive mixed reactions from everybody in the community. But he dropped this album. It looked like he was trying to make a comeback, but this news right here can most certainly derail any comeback a Lil Baby was planning on having. So we got this article right here from Billboard that says Lil Baby's cowardly actions at music video shooting led to teens murders, Atlanta police allege. And in this article, Billboard says that the Atlanta police claimed that in May of 2024, a triple shooting on the set of one of Lil Baby's music videos sparked a gang war that led to multiple homicides. The police held a press conference today, February 26th, announcing the arrest of 7 individuals that were tied to these murders. Both of the people that died were 13 years old. One's name was Jacody Davis and the other's name was Lamont Freeman. And they say that these two teens were ambushed at a birthday party that was being held for Lamont Freeman. In this press conference, the police alleged that these murders were tied to this gang war and pretty much say that they are working relentlessly to hold Lil Baby accountable.
Several weeks after this incident took place, we were out here holding a very similar press conference, and we were asking for the help from the community. In just a moment, I'm going to show you some pictures of 7 individuals that we were able to take into custody in conjunction with this tragic incident. I stood here and told you the story how on July 2nd, just after midnight of last year, we had 2 13-year-olds and 11-year-old celebrating the birthday of Lamont Freeman. He had just turned 13. And he got to experience about 30 minutes of being a teenager before his life was taken. But one thing I want to make absolutely clear, and I said it then and I'll say it again, these kids were innocent victims. So when we talk about the gang involvement, these 2 13-year-olds and this 11-year-old, they didn't have a gang involvement. We didn't have interactions with them as a police department. They were good kids in the community. And unfortunately, their futures, their lives were taken. So 5 of these individuals we already had in custody, we had arrested. Some of them were in jail on previous charges not related to this. So once we established probable cause, we're able to serve the jails in which they're housed with these arrest warrants. So the first one there is Mr. Sanders. Let me just flip through him. Richard Hollis. Reginald Thomas, Marcus Crawford, Mr. Mobley, Tradon Crawford, and Tradon is one of the individuals that we took into custody yesterday. And then the final 7th individual is Mr. Ollie Caldwell. If you notice with these individuals, 2 of them share the same last name. It's because they are brothers.
My name is Major Ralph Woolfolk of the Violent Crime Interdiction Section. And I first want to say the overall theme of this case is grown men playing gangster that left 2 of our children in graves and a community in fear. And we know in these communities that strength is about building community, not destroying it. And in this case, leaving 2 young people in their grave. And for the investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence that was orchestrated by adults in our city. And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings, and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions. Ultimately, there are components of this investigation that led back to a prison in the state of Georgia where an illegal phone, a contraband phone, was used to orchestrate these acts. There was a hit called by a high-ranking gang member on the opposite side of that opposing rapper's gang. And I'll tell you today, that gang was Goodfellas. Goodfellas Criminal Street Gang being one of the most hyper-violent gangs in the city of Atlanta. And we will pursue you relentlessly in making sure that we keep this city safe and suppressing violence throughout our city. And lastly, I'll say, as Major Malecki indicated, there is still a $50,000 reward that is on the table for additional information in relationship to this case. And our detectives and our officers, through all of the internal units and external units that you see here today, will be knocking on doors and working with this community that has been so resilient to collect additional information to continue to move this investigation forward.
No, there was not. We do believe that the 3 juveniles, 2 were killed, 1 who was injured, they were just outside on the steps celebrating a birthday party. We don't believe that they were the intended targets of that gunfire.
And so then are we going to name the gang on the other side? You named the Goodfellas, but what's the name of the gang that's affiliated with this rapper that we're not naming?
Yeah, at this time, so not to compromise the integrity of this investigation, we will not be naming that gang. It is a hyper-violent hybrid street gang here in the city of Atlanta, and there's subsequent information that will follow in the upcoming preliminary hearing.
Now, that police officer said he wasn't going to name the gang on the other side of it. He named the Goodfellas, but he didn't want to name the gang on the other side. But we know that it's Lil Baby because, again, we're seeing articles like this from Billboard that basically put the pieces together, and they're saying that, you know, it's for PF. Interestingly, in that press conference, you heard him say that this actually was some kind of hit that was called from a person that was already in prison as retaliation for Lil Baby going to his hood to shoot a music video. And as a byproduct of that, these 2 teens were ultimately killed. They said that they're going to be working relentlessly to hold Lil Baby accountable. So at this point, I want to pose a question to you guys. Do you guys think that Lil Baby is responsible for this? They clearly know who sent the hit. They made 7 different arrests of the people who went and committed the hit, right? But it seems like the police are pretty much saying because Lil Baby went over to his ops hood to shoot this, he perpetuated the violence, so he should be held responsible too. Is that something that y'all agree with, or do you believe that Lil Baby didn't do nothing but shoot a music video? He can shoot a music video wherever he wants. What other people do ain't got nothing to do with him. I'm highly interested in the interconnectivity of this whole thing and how the public views it. I want to know what you guys think about it, because based on the press conference, Lil Baby didn't go out there and pull a trigger, but it's clear that they want to hold him responsible for what happened. If they end up arresting him and holding him responsible, do you guys think that that is a fair bargain? Y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments down below. But yeah, that's basically it for the video. If you guys enjoyed the content, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, tap the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. As always, it's been fun rocking with y'all, man. I'm out.